A warm greeting to all of you. Welcome to RISEUP, a channel sharing knowledge for comprehensive self-development through great books. In the description of each video, please subscribe to follow us to watch interesting videos, as well as update the latest short shares from RISEUP. This week's book that we are going to explore together is a very special book called The 8 Master Lessons of Nature. The author is naturalist Gary Ferguson. He, by combining recent studies on biology, medicine, quantum physics, psychology, and philosophy, has taught us 8 great lessons from nature. Reading this book, you will feel like there is a guiding hand leading you into the vastness of nature, so that you can use your eyes, ears, and heart to experience the lessons that nature wants you to know, helping you live happier. This is a great work that only people who have spent their whole lives attached to it, constantly observing the workings of nature, can write the wisdom lessons that nature is trying to send us. It will move your soul with reason, science, and sincerity from Mother Nature. Now let's all feel the abundant vitality in the quiet moment, along with 8 profound lessons from nature. The first lesson: embracing the unknown. There's a truth that we are fortunate to live in a miraculous scientific age. Are you excited to know that every day, as you walk down the road, your feet touch the ground? The electrons on your shoes repel the electrons on the street? This means that despite the feeling of being grounded, you are not actually walking on the ground, but rather hovering. Why does the author mention this? It's to emphasize that the natural world holds many things you don't know. Nature, like our lives, is constantly changing and filled with wonders that you're not ready to fully explore. Without understanding our relationship with nature, we can't grasp the deeper meaning of life. Unfortunately, in many of our lives, we are only concerned with how to get promoted, get a raise, and make a lot of money. We limit our lives to material goals and never think about how to truly experience life through interacting with nature. The author says first, you need to awaken and activate your diverse senses. Now listen to his feelings when he goes deep into the Rocky Mountains. Going back to the 1970s, when I was free to wander in the wilderness of the Rocky Mountains, I realized I always wanted to stop, close my eyes, and listen to the wind. In fact, I became a wind connoisseur. The black pines whispered quietly, the cedars sighed, releasing a sound like waves. The aspens rattled like gurgling streams. The sound of the striped birch was different, like sudden rain falling from the sky. The low bushes on the plains made a stiff rustling sound. The sagebrush rustled richly, and at the edge of the frozen ground, like touching the top of the world, I heard the music of the sapoppi cedar, the sound of the branches facing the wind being torn off, and the sound of the branches behind being twisted and entangled. Then I began to nurture my sense of touch. At the edge of the stream, the air touched my skin, cold and damp. The sun fell on my eyelids, warm and pleasant. I used my fingers to stroke the cracked bark of the old oak, touched the aspen trunk, and its bark felt powdery. The smell of nature is boundless. The American yellow pine bark exudes a vanilla fragrance. The smell of night flowers, mountain rainflowers lingers endlessly. The smell of grassland after a heavy rain is heartwarming. The smell of roses, 5-colored flowers, dandelion leaves, each has its own unique fragrance. Close your eyes and the scent comes rushing in, feeling like a Sunday morning. You approach a freshly brewed cup of coffee, or take a freshly baked waffle and smell its fragrance. When we step into nature, we can activate all our senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch, to experience the emotions that nature gives us. However, what is the problem with us humans? Why do we need to learn from nature? The ability to embrace the unknown. That's because humans have a classification obsession. From prehistoric times, we have quickly classified everything. This is useful. That is useless. This is dangerous. That is safe. This person is a friend. That person is an enemy. This person is good. That person is bad. This is good. That is bad. This obsession with classification helps humans reduce the energy that the brain consumes. But its negative effect is that it makes us easily divide the world into two opposing camps. When we enter the forest, we often habitually think that deer and eagles are good, flies and mosquitoes are bad. But in reality, flies are the main pollinators for all plants. Moreover, as decomposers, they are actually masters of revival. Flies can kill many worms, beetles, and moth larvae, so it's not an exaggeration to say that flies play a key role in ensuring bumper harvests worldwide. Next, look at mosquitoes. They are nourishing thousands of other creatures like fish, lizards, birds, and salamanders. But what about us? We must swat when a mosquito lands on our skin, kill a fly when it touches your sweet cake. Hummingbirds are good, owls are bad, squirrels are cute, big rats are disgusting. We have such discriminatory thinking. But when you carefully observe the great work of nature, you will realize that this discrimination is completely unreasonable. Humans think that all species need to have male and female. There are males and females. However, most plants are bisexual. Even many species of fish, jellyfish, and clams can change their sex at will based on the needs of the herd. Because we use binary thinking to distinguish everything, it's like putting another brick on the wall, separating us from nature, preventing us from truly experiencing a wonderful life. So the best way to gradually break down this duality is to try to spend more time immersing yourself in nature. Each time we sit by the river, listen to the wind blow or the birds sing, we have the opportunity to get closer to our nature, to the profound lessons that nature can teach us. When you observe and interact with nature, nature slowly reveals its profound wisdom to you, so you can start by learning to accept the unknown, which can reduce discrimination and prejudices in everyday life. Break away from binary thinking to look at every issue, no longer simply seeking joy, avoiding pain, desiring success and fearing failure. You will realize that every rise and fall is an inseparable part of this life. And that's all. The first lesson from nature. Lesson 2. Interdependence. In the past, we often assumed that human evolution followed the law of the jungle. The big fish eats the small fish, where survival is only for the strongest, through a struggle to the death. From this perspective, modern society has formed a deeply rooted belief that only those who constantly strive to become stronger and superior to others can survive and prosper. However, reality shows that the nature of life is not simply competition, but also cooperation, symbiosis, and interdependence. Humans think they are the most intelligent species on this planet, but in fact, plants also possess an intelligence that we cannot imagine. For example, if you are walking in a vast forest and see a sapling growing among tall trees, it is being shaded by the larger trees. You might wonder if this sapling will die due to lack of sunlight. But this worry is unnecessary because trees in the forest are intertwined, and their roots are connected by another living organism, fungus. For millions of years, mycorrhizae and fungi have been interdependent, maintaining a mutually beneficial, close evolutionary relationship. Fungi grow under the canopies of large trees, inserting their thin, spiderweb-like tube-shaped filaments into tree roots, absorbing the sugar that the tree produces through photosynthesis. Once the fungus expands its network in the root system, it begins its protective role. If the sapling does not receive enough sunlight, the fungus will transmit a message to the healthier trees to transfer excess carbon and essential nutrients. This process is completed underground, so the sapling will not die but can grow safely. For millions of years, trees have never competed with each other, but have only cooperated closely to grow as a community. It's worth noting that plants also consider humans to be a member of this community. When we enter areas with plants, they release an antibacterial compound called vitamin I. While we cannot see it with the naked eye, it mixes into our breath. After reaching the lungs, this compound will follow the nerve cells, enter the arteries of the body, helping to reduce the risk of high blood pressure and cardiovascular disease. Another part of it will combine with lymph nodes, quickly improving the immune system function for humans. The remaining part of this compound will be sent to vital organs to improve various functions. Plants have always given us the best things, but greedy humans have used all sorts of means to cut down trees, destroy forests, and make a profit. We need to always remember a saying in the book: the less greenery people live in, the greater the risk of disease and death. The author particularly admires Thich Nhat Hanh. When the Zen master was teaching in Plum Village, he held up a piece of paper and said, "Look closely at this paper. You can see white clouds, you can see the stream, you can see trees, you can also see the lumberjacks, the bread they ate, the barley that was rooted, and the machines used to grow it. All of that combined to create this white piece of paper. So you can say that you see the whole world from this piece of paper." This is the teaching of Thich Nhat Hanh. He believes that the world, everything, all of us are interconnected and interdependent. However, there might be some people who ask, plants are like that, but animals are different. We still see animals attacking each other, and in the end, the strong survive. The author says, in reality, it's not like that. Take the David's deer as an example. During mating season, the males will fight and headbutt each other, but it's not the strongest male that wins the mating reward. Instead, the strongest male will die. Because the very strong males are also very aggressive, they are almost crazy and attack constantly. In the bustling forest paths, one often sees many scattered carcasses of male deer. The stronger the deer, the easier it is to go crazy, and they will ram themselves into cars. Therefore, in the end, the strongest cannot survive. Only those deer who can control their temper and quickly mate peacefully can survive longer. Moreover, not only in the animal world, but in the world of quantum physics, the scientific community has taken 100 years to remove the deeply ingrained theory that our world needs to be divided into opposites. One of the most important experiments here is the double-slit experiment, called wave-particle duality. This means that this beam of light has both wave and particle properties, depending on how you want to observe it. Scientists have shown that we cannot clearly distinguish what is entirely our own, what is uniquely ours, and what is not ours. We also cannot distinguish what is entirely belonging to turtles, what belongs to zebras, and what belongs to fungi. Simply put, the relationship between us and nature is, I am in you and you are in me. Everything is interdependent. It's the same between people. Therefore, in the relationships between people, the most fundamental law of life is never might makes right, living selfishly and bullying the weak, but rather understanding that in order to live peacefully, prosperously, and happily, we need to develop a generous heart, compassion, live selflessly, and always be ready to support each other. Living with a spirit of I for you and you for me, building a cooperative and symbiotic life together. For nature, we need to nurture a heart of respect and gratitude. You protect nature. Nature will bring wonders to your life. Let's start with the smallest things in everyday life, such as reducing the use of plastic bags, disposable chopsticks, spoons, and plastic products, choosing eco-friendly bags instead, using your own chopsticks and spoons when ordering food outside. When eating at restaurants, finish your food and don't hesitate to take leftovers home. For short distances, prioritize cycling or walking. Donate old clothes, reuse recyclable items, save electricity and water. Plant trees or donate to reputable organizations involved in planting trees. These are effective ways to contribute to environmental protection. We need to engrave this in our minds. Nature and we are united as one, an inseparable whole of you and me. Protecting the environment first is not for anyone else, but for yourself. As the famous American poet and writer Walt Whitman advised people, everyone should take more walks in nature where there are forests or gardens, sit for a while, and meditate with the silent companions from nature. If you are tired of life, work, love, relationships, and find that none of these things last, nor can anything bring you true happiness, the only thing that remains with you is always nature. The author believes that nature has the ability to help a person escape egoism. Have you ever tried hiking in nature? Some people have hiked a lot, but what they care about is not really nature. They pay attention to the watch on their wrist, to the map statistics of how far they've gone, to the photos they take in nature, so that they are beautiful and satisfactory. In fact, what they care about is only self-expression. Therefore, if you have the opportunity, spend more time in your life truly feeling and becoming one with nature. The gentle shapes of valleys, the subtle colors of plants, the elegant swimming postures of schools of fish, and the musk scent that has inspired you to forget yourself. And this is the second lesson. Everything is united. Everything is interdependent. Lesson 3. Embracing diversity. Have you ever wondered why nature needs to have so many different species? If you pay attention, you will see that during droughts, famines, or epidemics, some tree species will die, but some will definitely survive. And as long as some plants and animals still exist, the entire ecosystem will still survive. This is the rational management of nature. What does this mean? It means that nature has a great wisdom, always reserving space to bounce back through the diversity of species. And within each species, there is diversity in behavior and character. The more diverse it is, the stronger its vitality. This is also reflected in human life through the truth that if we move away from diversity, the fragility and vulnerability of our being will become increasingly serious. Resilience, the ability to withstand weakness, to overcome adversity, are essential abilities that a person needs to have in life. So what is the ability to withstand weakness? If you're hearing this concept for the first time, you can learn more in the book's video, where I've put the link on the screen. Here, I'll give you a simple example. If you only have one source of income and you don't plan to create any other sources of income for yourself, that's the same as not having the ability to withstand weakness. Or, if you only focus on developing one skill to serve a certain profession, that also poses fragility and vulnerability to your future. Or, if you only like reading one genre of books, in the long run, it's like muk-kyo, constantly hypnotizing yourself, making your thinking isolated, one-sided, and going in one direction. The author says that he participated in some psychological studies and discovered, for example, in a Western jury system, if there are both white people and people of color, their accuracy in judgment is much higher than if there were only people of color or only white people. And in groups writing academic papers, if the group has diverse origins, the rate of citation will also be higher and gain more credibility. The philosopher Francis Bacon once said, "The truth that universalizes too quickly will be a dangerous thing. When we too easily achieve consensus, it will harm ourselves. People think they are ready to open their arms to accept, to establish a community, but in reality, they fall into the trap of trying to make everyone alike." Modern universal education also has this limitation. Humans love their own culture, and they want others to be like them. Assimilation is the tragedy of humanity. That's why the world is divided into superpowers, rich countries and poor countries, racial discrimination, skin color, origin, class differences, etc. Tragedy happens when diversity is not respected. Superiority takes the throne, and a weapon is formed in the hearts of people, which can easily harm others. In a broader sense, diversity includes racial diversity and species diversity. Specifically, diversity comes from within our own family, office, school, etc. And here we need to know that we shouldn't try to desire and force others to become a copy of ourselves. For example, if you don't like someone, don't like something, and you quickly go behind the keyboard, freely posting negative words, it's simply because you see that other people are not like you, have different opinions, and you cannot meet your own needs. At this point, your superiority does not allow others to have different perspectives. The one-sidedness obscures the heart that needs to embrace the diversity of life. If so, in the end, this will come back and become a tragedy in your life. So, if possible, from now on, when you go out on the street, pay a little more attention to the amazing diversity of nature. This will remind you of the third lesson from nature. Respect diversity, eliminate one-sidedness, and embrace differences. Lesson 4: Gender Equality. On the Serengeti Plains during the dry season, in areas where elephant herds live, if there is no water, they will have to decide to migrate to a distant place. But each move is energy-consuming and dangerous. It has been observed that if a herd of elephants is led by a female, it is usually safer. However, the larger the female elephant, the more valuable her tusks are, and therefore she is often hunted by humans. This is a heartbreaking phenomenon. Returning to the leadership role of females, many other species are the same. They are not just responsible for reproduction, but can maintain complex relationships related to life and death. Compared to males, females are often better at connecting and cooperating with others. Human history also proves that ancient cultures all have myths about goddesses, meaning knowing the importance of masculinity, but still protecting the position of femininity, is like a valley that can embrace everything. When we let nature lead the way, we will see that only by truly putting women back in their rightful place, equal to men, can we grasp both the inner and outer and live a vibrant and healthy life. Lesson 5: Respect for animals. Have you ever witnessed a dog grieving to the point of tears, or a kitten being cuddled like a child? It's not just in these moments that many people think animals have emotions just like humans. But in reality, it's not animals learning from us, but us learning from animals. This is the view of an American elder who taught the author, "Humans appeared later than animals." To be precise, we are learning rich emotions from animals. The alpha wolf, when it grows old, may walk slower, unable to hunt, and often not able to eat in time. But it won't be bullied by the younger wolves in the pack. Instead, it receives respect. The younger wolves who hunt and bring prey back will tear it apart for the old wolf, so that it can directly and easily eat the organs and meat of the prey. Scientists have observed that when the old wolf dies, its mate also disappears. They hurriedly go looking and discover that the female wolf is running as fast as she can. Each time she stops, she howls, then runs again. She keeps running, only because she is too heartbroken over her mate's passing. In a central Tennessee sanctuary for elephants, the author witnessed a 34-year-old elephant named Tina die, and Tina's friends came over and touched her body with their trunks. After Tina was buried, people saw that normally elephants would keep their distance from each other. But when they came to attend the funeral, they didn't hesitate to stand shoulder to shoulder and stare intently at Tina's grave. Her closest friend, CC, placed a tire, a favorite toy from Tina's lifetime, on the grave. Animals have a wide range of emotions, and they have their own language, because some humans have become too arrogant and believe that animals are senseless. Whales and dolphins have up to 20 different ways of greeting and interacting with each other. They have unique whistles to introduce their names. Many animals have surprisingly intelligent behavior. For example, elephants are very calm, stable, and united. They have a long memory and can remember many events for a lifetime. The neural connections in an elephant's brain are even more complex than a human's, so it's not easily emotionally aroused. Crows can understand cause and effect. Dogs can solve simple math problems, and so on. Respecting animals and acknowledging the relationship between humans and animals can bring peace to our souls. It's simply that, gazing at birds searching for food, looking into a dog's eyes, or scratching a kitten's ears, all of these are sacred connections between us and animals. Have you ever fed a stray cat? If you have, you'll realize that if the cat trusts you, it will be willing to stay by your side, eat what you give it, and you'll feel very happy. This joyful feeling will stimulate your body to release endorphins, making you feel love. This is very beneficial and good for your health. Therefore, humans and animals should have more connections. But exactly what does it mean to respect animals? It means that we must cultivate love for all living beings. This love doesn't just mean saving one species, it means saving all species: wolves, elephants, dolphins, along with ducks, cows, pigs, and so on. All of this can show us the path that leads you to live a better and more blessed life. Learning to work effectively from nature. We always think that humans value efficiency the most, but nature is actually more efficient than us. The amount of energy the sun uses to shine on Earth in 1.5 hours is equivalent to all the energy from other sources like oil, coal, wind energy, and so on, combined that humans use. Each leaf on a tree is finely tuned to the point that even subatomic particles many times smaller than atoms, can absorb as much sunlight as possible. Every living organism operates its body efficiently. This efficiency has made physicists and architects admire it. In fact, our advanced technology also imitates the efficiency of living organisms, like high-speed trains, water purifiers, and wind power generation, and so on. Do you wonder why a honeycomb is designed in a hexagonal shape? That's to conserve energy while creating the largest possible interior space. How did bees know to do this? We don't know, but we have to admit that nature is truly amazing and intelligent. So what can we learn from nature to live and work more effectively? It all comes down to 3 key words: harmony, balance, and rhythm. Harmony means letting things happen naturally, without resistance or opposition. When a duck migrates, it doesn't fly against the wind, making itself exhausted. It folds its wings and waits for better weather. Balance is the balance between energy input and output. Look at how many animals, after eating their fill, begin to move. This activates every cell in their body to consume energy and restore balance. Finally, there's rhythm. Just like many animals follow the cycles of each season, each day, to work, rest, and recover in the best way possible. This is also equivalent to high discipline. It's important to note that the core purpose of applying these 3 elements to our lives is to help us avoid working in a wasteful, inefficient way, wasting time, and to conserve energy for the right things. Observe sloths hanging upside down from trees. They do this only to avoid wasting energy like they would if they had to keep their heads upright. They don't want to hunt, so they simply eat leaves. They reduce their body temperature to reduce their calorie needs. They do everything slowly. If you've seen the movie Zootopia, you'll see that the sloths who work there are so slow that they make people impatient. That's why they were named sloths. But in reality, their actions and the results of their evolutionary process are to save energy. Unlike busy monkeys who jump up and down all day so they have to eat a lot, eat everything, and they are so greedy that they fight with each other and even go to places where people live to steal food. So, humans also need to learn to save energy, to be clever from nature. The author has offered us some advice here. First, let go of obsessive thinking and self-dramatization. Don't overthink, because chaotic or angry emotions cause a person to waste a lot of energy and become weak. If you don't know what to do at this point, you can connect with nature. Nature will help you reduce stress. Just like me, when I get too tired from writing, I will go for a walk for a while under the green trees. When I come back to work, I feel more refreshed and can continue working effectively. Immersing yourself in nature can really help reboot your senses, your consciousness, and make you more focused. Finally, give up greed to work effectively. We need to be able to cooperate with others. But when humans work with others, they usually only think about their own interests and want to take the better part for themselves. This will only lead to defeat sooner or later. The core motivation for being willing to give up greed actually comes from gratitude. When you work and live with appreciation for those around you, you'll find everything in life becomes smoother. Just like the saying, be kind to others and you'll be kind to yourself. This point is also the core of the law of interconnectedness and interdependence that we talked about before. It permeates through other lessons. You will realize that this is also the highest wisdom of the universe. Lesson 7. Rebirth from the ashes. Nature is always ready for life, even in despair. It can not only be reborn from the ashes, but can also regain its prosperity after disasters. Over thousands of years, plants, insects, birds, and animals have learned these skills to survive and thrive from natural events. Before a fire breaks out, the American yellow pine is always ready to face it. its lower branches constantly fall off to prevent fire from spreading to other canopies. The wide distance between mature trees not only helps to store water, but also limits the spread of fire. When a fire actually happens, the seeds of the American black pine can sprout from cones that have cracked due to fire. They become the first trees to grow from the ashes after being burned. After being burned, the nutrients stored in the trees and soil combine with the ashes to create an incredibly fertile layer of soil, helping trees grow taller, mushrooms grow larger, and vegetation grow thicker. That is the power of nature, an incredible power. But for us, some people in life, after being hit, cannot recover. Why is that? Because we're too obsessed with the desire for eternal safety. We always hope that our lives won't encounter storms, that fate won't bring any disasters. If anything unfortunate happens, we must quickly extinguish it to remain safe and move forward. If we can't extinguish it, then we keep running away. But the author suggests that without challenges erupting in our lives, we can't develop a higher level of resilience. The challenges in life are to help you not only create resilience, but also develop many other latent abilities. Because overly preventing potential risks is also preventing your own extraordinary growth. Therefore, be like nature, embrace every event with preparation and without fear. To do this, you must first do Lesson 2 well, not having a discriminating mind by loving peace, but also loving and embracing difficulties. Nature can be reborn from the ashes because it constantly accumulates richness every day. When an event occurs, we can also learn how to gradually recover, like nature. Remember that the most natural things are the quickest source of healing for us. Eat healthy, meditate mindfully, exercise outdoors, immerse yourself in and feel nature. Nature can help you adjust the rhythm of your life, bring you back to balance and harmony. Lesson 8. Learning value from elders. We have come to the final lesson from nature, learning value from elders. In every tribe, elders are very wise and can teach life values to everyone. It's the same with nature. Older plants and animals are like great sages. For example, old trees always know how to find which saplings need nutrients and which saplings need sunlight. In the animal world, if a herd loses its elders, they become unruly. The author once witnessed a herd of elephants who, without the guidance of older elephants, turned into a pack of hooligans and killed over 100 rhinos. Or you will see that centuries-old trees preserve many secrets of nature. Humans can rely on them to understand the climate situation 1,000 years ago, and also calculate the amount of fog in summer, better analyze the long-term trends of ocean currents, and therefore understand the impact of human activity on climate change. The author has a friend who is a 102-year-old neighbor. She could be called a beacon of light in the author's growth process. Before, the pressures of life, poverty, and abuse forced her to focus on building survival skills, but she instilled this focus into nature. She used the peace and beauty she found in nature to enrich herself. Nature inspired her to keep moving forward. Nature also continuously nurtured her gratitude. Every spring, she watched the young shoots grow from the garden behind her house. The long, warm summer gave her more energy. She, in the author's eyes, was truly radiant because nature had told her that she should become this way. She passed away peacefully at the age of 102, leaving in the author's heart profound philosophies of life. She helped him resist life's temptations. She said, "Don't get lost in your own script. Learn to observe and examine yourself." This is the value that elders bring to us. If you pay attention, you'll notice that Better Version introduces quite a few books written by older people. Among them is the book The Heart of the Business King by Japanese businessman Inamori Kazuo, written when he was 90 years old. There is also Live Well by Hino Hara, who lived to be 106. The book Investor's Almanac by Charlie Munger, who lived to be 99. And recently there's the book Precious Humanity by the oldest Japanese psychiatrist, Dr. Nakamura, born in 1929. These esteemed elders, both men and women, all share one characteristic. Their early lives were full of thorns and storms, but eventually, through their wisdom, intelligence, and ability, they were able to live rich, prosperous, and happy lives. Perhaps you won't be surprised when, in the future, I might continue to introduce other books from other wise elders. I hope we can all learn a lot from their experiences and the essence they have distilled and left behind for the world. Finally, to conclude today's sharing, I will quote some very beautiful and profound words from the author. "Beauty is close at hand. You just have to reach out to touch it. On a summer afternoon, standing under a maple tree, when you suddenly realize that you don't need to do anything, there's no problem to solve, no plan to make, just sunshine, shade, and the sound of the wind blowing past, you'll feel beauty. This is a relaxing and unique communication. You exhale nutrients to the tree and the tree returns the oxygen you need. The world is rewarding you and you are also rewarding the world." In the face of warnings from natural disasters, epidemics, and unusual changes in nature like today, it's hoped that we can, from the depths of our hearts, realize the importance of respecting nature, which is also respecting our own lives. Finally, let these valuable lessons from nature become a beacon to guide you to live a more meaningful life. Thank you for listening. If you find this video helpful, please share it with those who need it. Give me a like, click subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to watch the latest videos every week. Thank you once again and see you in the next videos.